Alright, so dealing with exponents, or hello, this video is on exponents. A couple things that I wanted to remind you and point out, and a lot of that has to do with the negative sign when you do exponents. I'm going to skip over to this negative 4 squared right here. Well, if you notice it, well, actually look back at the negative 3 cubed, looks very similar. You know, you've got a base, you've got an exponent. The difference is one of them has parentheses. If you have parentheses around, when you have parentheses, whatever is on the inside is your base. So that means that this is a negative 4 squared, which means we multiply 2 of those together. So negative 4 times negative 4 becomes a positive 16. So our base was negative. Now if we look to the left at this negative 3 cubed, because there are no parentheses to keep that negative with the 3, we do not have a negative base. What we do is the exponent first. So 3 cubed is 3 times 3 times 3. Well, 3 times 3 is 9, and 9 times 3 is 27. So 27, and then that negative has to come down for our final answer right there. So if you have a negative inside your base, or inside parentheses, deal with a negative base. If you have no parentheses, do your exponent first, and then the negative gets tacked on in the end. This other example here, negative 5 thirds to the third power, just making sure we can work with fractions. But notice that negative is inside your parentheses, so that means that our base is negative. And when you have a negative fraction, make sure that you only keep one of your numbers negative. I always put the negative with the top number, but you can't have a negative 5 and a negative 3. That would result in a positive fraction. So just make one of your numbers negative. And how many of these are we going to multiply? We're going to multiply 3 of these together. So you can multiply straight across. Another thing you could do is bring this into each base, but I think we'll deal with that a little bit more in a later chapter. So multiplying fractions, multiply straight across. Negative 5 times negative 5 is a positive 25, times a negative 5 is a negative 125, over 3 times 3 times 3, well, we just did that above, we know that that is 27. So don't let fractions throw you off, and pay attention to whether or not you have parentheses to know if you have a negative base or if the negative sign just goes on your answer in the end.